Good morning. It's Monday, June 20th, 2022. Coming to you 2022.
2022.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. Because I was trying to say coming to you. So 22. Anyway, coming to you from the Lonely Tree Media Studios in Yakima, Washington. This is the Best Lamb Sports Show. I am your host, David Lamb. Wait, here's the funky part. And then with me is Parker, my son Parker. Say hello, Parker.
Hello, Parker. So nice.
It is. That's a good Monday start. When you get some applause. If you can get applause on Monday, you're doing all right.
That's not a bad deal.
I think. So this is new, see, because I was going to go right to this. And then when we do our little talk here at the beginning, we'll, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can see me. And if I had you up, we could see you if you had, your camera.
I don't know if people want to put me on camera.
I can still put up the pictures up in the corner of people that look nothing like you. We can always do that.
That's true.
So we are on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Lamb Sports. We're on Facebook, Best Lamb Sports Show. So I got to type in. You'll find it. You can send us an email, lambsports@gmail.com, and please check out our webpage, which is just lambsports.com. You can find links to the past shows and the current trivia question on lambsports.com. The Golden State Warriors won another NBA title. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1 and 2 go to the Avalanche in pretty convincing fashion in Game 2 anyway. Max Verstappen wins back-to-back Formula 1 races. Let's see. First-timer wins the U.S. Open. All that. We got College Baseball World Series, WNBA, the MLB, MLS. We got all kinds of crap. But anyway, we'll speed through a bunch of it. But anyway, the first segment of the show is brought to you by The Range in Yakima. The Range is Central Washington's premier indoor shooting destination. If you haven't checked them out, go to therangellc.com and you'll find all of the training, membership, and VIP information and opportunities. Check out their calendar under the events tab. Here, I'm going to do it. Look, we haven't done this before.
Oh.
There's the events tab, and there's some pictures. And then if you go right here, look at that. There's the calendar. I wasn't lying. Check out their calendar. Under the events tab, you can find the complete schedule for the month. You can enroll for most of the events and training online with just a few simple clicks. And literally, just let's say you were going. This is the 20th. We're not. It's close today. But let's say you wanted to go take Basic Handgun 1 tomorrow. You would click right here, doop, and it will take you to a page, tell you all about the course, how much it costs, objectives, gear requirement, rental options, and then if you need to enroll, you click on the enroll. Boom, away you go. So there you go. Anyway, it's that easy. That's The Range. Central Washington, like I said, premier indoor shooting destination, open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 7, Sunday, 11 to 5. 1701 Garrettson Lane in Yakima. The phone number is 509-571-1449. The Range, educate, equip, and empower. You can't yawn in the middle of a show.
I'm not trying to.
It's ridiculous. You got to hit the mute button.
So it just snuck, that one snuck up on me. And I leaned away from the mic.
Don't lean away. All right.
I was trying to.
Well, all right. So let's talk about the NBA real quick because, we have a champion now. The Golden State Warriors, just 2 seasons after having the league's worst record, they defeated the Boston Celtics 103-90 last night. Not last night. It's been 3 nights.
A couple nights ago.
Yeah. In Boston to secure their 4th NBA title in 8 years, the franchise's 7th NBA championship. The Celtics jumped out to a 14-2 lead, and they looked good. I mean, they looked like, hey, we've got this problem solved. We're playing at home, right? We're going to go Game 7. And then the Warriors went on a 35-8 run, and it never really got close after that. Boston never got closer than 8 points after that run. Steph Curry had 34 points. He was named the Finals MVP. Jaylen Brown had 34 for the Celtics. What are your feelings about the Golden State Warriors after the Finals? Are they the best team in the NBA?
Ooh. That's a great question. Are they the best team in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I know they won the championship, but that doesn't always mean they're the best team. Are they the best team right now in the NBA?
I think, crap. See, I wouldn't have said, I'd say no way like a month and a half ago. And then Jordan Poole started playing out of his mind. And then Andrew Wiggins started playing out of his mind. And very quickly, you had 6-person deep starters. And you're like, oh, good grief. So, yeah, I can go with that. I can say that they're the best team in the NBA right now. I don't think anybody else would have presented as much of a challenge except Phoenix. But I can't give Phoenix that nod when 2 years in a row they've crapped the bed and they're going backwards. So they have to be. You have to consider them the best team. They have the best shooter of all time. They have one of the best defenders of all time. And then they've got Clay, who I would have said was on trajectory to be one of the best shooters of all time and one of the best defenders of all time.
Yeah.
Just they're too deep. They are too good. And of course, they have one of the best coaches of all time, Steve Kerr. I know this has a 22-2 final or playoff series record.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
His only two being to LeBron.
Yeah, that's
LeBron the Cavs.
pretty good. And he's nearing in on some major company if he isn't there already. And I haven't looked at this, but I'm sitting here thinking he won titles with the Bulls.
Yeah, he's got 3 titles with the Bulls,
and then he's got 4 with the
Warriors.
Warriors.
And then he's got 1 as an assistant coach somewhere else too.
So that's 8. So he's nearing. He's getting into Phil Jackson territory, right? He's getting into.
He's really good, and he did it. And I mean, not that
Pat
Phil
Riley.
Yeah, not that Phil didn't have like a great hand, or Pat Riley didn't have great hands in building their teams, because they did. I feel like that's kind of like the hallmark of all those, is that Phil Jackson was kind of brought in as like a guru to fix what issues that were going on with the Blazers, but he was part of the group that was he there when they drafted Kobe and Shaq?
Was Phil there?
No, he wasn't. He was still with the Bulls.
He was still with the Bulls when,
and then he left and then came back and went to the Lakers.
I was gonna say, was that still under? I don't even know if that was under Pat Riley.
Interesting.
Yeah, we have to look that one up. What year and when and who? Because I don't remember. I honestly can't tell you.
Interesting.
So here's a couple more basketball questions for you before we change it. Well, let's talk about Steph Curry for just a minute. Steph Curry is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yes or no?
Faux show.
Okay, good. And I think Golden State, honestly, when we're talking about the team as a whole, I think that they're built for the way the game is played today. So you've got a bunch of flexible guys who can do a lot. They're fast, they're speedy, they have good hands, they can shoot a 3.
They haven't tried to do anything too cute, I think is their best thing. They're saying, okay, well, the NBA likes to shoot 3s, and I think the one thing that they recognize more than anybody else is the emphasis on, they would rather go small with Draymond Green, but have a great defender and leader on the court.
Right.
They would sacrifice height for those 2 qualities any day of the week. And the same with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's a great defender, but he's not the biggest wing that's out there. So they were completely willing to sacrifice for other intangibles, and I think that's a really, really good thing.
Here's a question for you. Assuming that they can't keep all these guys together forever, right?
Sure.
I mean, maybe they can. I don't know. I mean, if you're willing to pay the luxury tax on everything, then right, you can do whatever you want. But and assuming that they can't keep everyone together, Clay and Steph, would it be better for Steph as he gets older and later in his career? Would it be better for him to move to be the shooting guard, to get a point guard, a true point guard? And have one distribute the ball to him, so he doesn't have to bring it up all the time and back in on guys and do that kind of stuff and work off of screens with the ball. He can work just without the ball.
No, I think that he's in the perfect situation to be. I think Steph affects the game most with the ball in his hands. Like, I think bringing it up the court, he's especially dangerous. He's got that, come up, set a high screen. He'll make one move and then pop a 3, or you'll try and come out to double him, and he'll slide it right between your legs or right behind you to Draymond Green, who's crashing the net. So it's just I don't think you need to get him into a situation where he's like a Klay Thompson style catch and release shooter. I actually think he does better off the dribble than he does off the catch.
Gotcha.
So I think if they can keep the team intact, if Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole and those guys learn anything, it's that you make some sacrifices pay-wise to keep a team together.
Gotcha.
You take it, because both those guys are going to get paid.
So here's a couple. So Steph Curry, well, before we move on, Steph Curry has played 13 years. He's got 4 NBA titles, 2-time scoring champion, and 8-time All-Star. So there you go. So here's other basketball questions for you. Yes or no? True or false, let's say. True or false? We'll make true or false questions. Russell Westbrook will be a Laker next year. True or false?
I'm gonna say false, even though Lakers say it's true. I think that they're gonna move him. I don't think options are presenting themselves yet, but I think that as soon as a good one does, they will jump on it.
Okay. True or false? Kyrie Irving gets a bigger, better contract next year after missing most of this season because he refused to take a shot.
Is he in the final year
Yeah.
of his deal?
Yes. You think they
Hmm.
renegotiate with him, or just say,
No. That's not what you asked. You asked,
well,
does he get a
I'm
bigger and better contract? If
right
you're referring to
because
with the
he's
Nets, I'm going to say no. But I think he's going to get traded,
okay.
and then I think that team's going to sign him to a big deal.
He's asking the Nets for a bunch of money, so I'm just
Yeah, I
curious.
think the Nets are going to trade him, and I think
I,
somebody else is going to pay him.
I would tell him if I was the general manager. I would say, hey, listen, you hurt our team last year. I mean,
Yeah.
we're behind you somewhat, but when it starts to affect how the team is, all right. Here's another question for you. One more. True or false? Zion Williamson can play a full season next year.
False.
Okay.
Not a single thing in high school, college, or the NBA so far has proven that Zion Williamson is capable of playing basketball for 6 months straight.
Okay, so now I have one more. Actually, I
Okay.
it was going to be the last one, but now I got one more. Chet Holmgren will be an NBA All-Star at some point.
At some point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I could see him because, well, all right, think about this. Boban was an all-star,
Yeah,
and
that's
Boban's
true.
not that great. But being big and doing the right things for just the right enough amount of time and captivating people is all you need to do.
Okay.
So I think that yes, he could be an all-star at some point, or I think he will be an all-star at some point. I don't know if it happens in year one or whatever, but he's also at a position like the centers that get picked up.
Yeah.
There's not that many great centers in the NBA.
You think he'll be a decent center? I mean, my issue with him is he is so dang skinny. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got long arms, he's got athletic ability. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that's great. But over the rigors of 82 games, is he going to be able to withstand pounding from bigger guys? Because that's what he's going to happen. I mean, you know that he's going to get fouled like crazy inside.
Well, I don't think the guys that he's going to face on a daily basis are. Well, no, that's not true. That's a damn lie. I can't say that. I was gonna say I don't think the guys he's going to face on a daily basis are that much bigger than the guys he faces in college. And then I remember he plays in the weakest of what you would call major divisions in college basketball. So those guys probably are significantly smaller. If he was playing in the Pac-12, I'd say you're playing against 6'10", 6'11", 7-footers anyways. Like, so it doesn't matter. I don't think he's going to be injury prone. I think that the speed will catch up to him because right now he doesn't necessarily have to be as fast as everyone else. Because he's so much bigger and things like that, it kind of works out.
Yeah.
But at the next level, those guys are a little bigger, but they're way faster. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, or not DeAndre Ayton, DeAndre Jordan, he could run like a 4.8 40 time.
Right.
Like, there's nobody in your garbage conference that can do that. So, and at 6'11", he's running 4.8 40 times. So, yeah, you're not gonna be able to get those open threes against centers. I mean, you will get some because there's some that just won't leave the paint.
Right.
Robin Lopez is not going to leave the paint to come defend you at 3-point line.
No,
So,
but it's so I guess I guess my issue with him is purely his weight. He's 7 foot, listed officially as 7 foot, 195.
he's a little light.
Okay, I weighed more than him my first year out of high school, and I'm not even 6 feet, and I would be able to outmuscle him probably. He can outreach me, sure, but I'll bet you, unless he's got great leverage and I'm lower to the ground, I'm going to be able to push him around. Draymond Green is 6'6", 230.
Yeah,
Draymond Green is going to push him around because
it's interesting.
So he has to bulk up, which means he's going to go slower. I mean, first thing the NBA is going to do is they're going to put 20 pounds on him, I'm imagining.
I'm going to try to, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's going to be slower. He's going to have to adjust to that right off the bat, which is going to be a pain in the ass. That's all. I feel like there's a problem there because of his weight. His weight is not big enough to start with. You got to make him bigger, and then he's got to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah,
So
he's made it this far though.
I know. Well, because he's 7 foot with 7 foot long arms, he can block everything.
I know. Height, you
So
can't teach height.
you can't. So I mean, that's been a great thing for him so far. But when you get some guys that are skilled and veterans who may not be as tall, but they know how to play defense,
Right.
that'll make it a lot harder. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that was my last question. So
Right on.
all right, perfect. Let's move forward because that's what we
Moving
do.
along.
Let's talk about golf because Matt Fitzpatrick, England's Matt Fitzpatrick.
You said it right the first time.
I know.
And then proceeded to say the name immediately again.
Well,
but
I said I was trying to tell you that he's from England. I
Okay.
meant to say he's from England. So England's Matt Fitzpatrick is your 2022 U.S. Open champion. Fitzpatrick shot a final round 68 at the Country Club at Brookline, Mass. To finish -6 and win his first major and first PGA tournament in the United States. By the way, he won the U.S. Amateur at Brookline in 2013. So
that's his favorite course.
He became only the second golfer to win both the Amateur and the Open on the same course. The other one being
Tiger Woods.
Jack Nicklaus. At Pebble Beach.
That was a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, probably. Will Zalatoris and Scotty Scheffler finished tied for second, one shot back at -5. The USGA, which runs the U.S. Open, allowed the PGA banned live golf players to participate in this year's tournament, and they really had no impact on it whatsoever. Only 4 of those 17 golfers made the cut. Dustin Johnson had the best finish. He was at +4, which is 10 shots back. And no offense to these guys, that is a tough golf course. And I think what you're going to see is a lot of people talking about Phil Mickelson getting cut, not making the cut. And I would tell you this: it is a really tough golf course, and the man's probably played 10 rounds of golf this year. I mean, he's not ready for that. So, at least publicly, he hasn't. Maybe I don't even know if he's played 10 rounds publicly, like in an event. So, anyway, just saying, it's gonna be tough. But they're gonna make a lot of talk about it, how these guys were not a factor, and that's what we're saying about their tour. It's garbage. We'll see. So, next PGA Tour event is the Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. Of course, that's a big one, right? And then the next Live Golf event is in 2 weeks at Pumpkin Ridge in Portland. Well, it's what is it? North
something.
What's it called? North Plains.
Sure.
It's North Plains, Oregon, officially. Anyway, that's June 30th through July the 2nd. Yeah, I don't know. They talk about how good the PGA Tour is, and all I saw all weekend was guys throwing their golf clubs. Multiple guys got angry at whatever we're throwing golf clubs, and I'm like, you guys are the best in the world, and that's what we do. All right, maybe we shouldn't show that on TV or shouldn't do that, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see how this thing goes along. We'll see how the next major is the British Open, and they have not announced whether they're going to let the Live Golf guys play or not. But I kind of feel like they have to. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I hope they do. I hope they let them play. I don't get it. I don't get all the controversy. I don't get all the drama. I get that the PGA Tour is scared of some money going out the door, but get over it.
Yeah, they don't seem to. That's kind of what I think the issue is. They're worried about it being competitive.
Right, and this weekend served kind of conflicting functions where it's like, oh well, you see, it's not a factor. The Live Golf players aren't a factor, so that we're all good.
Right.
But they're also saying, see, this is what golf is all about.
Right.
Like, this is the true meaning of golf, and it's like, all right, so you're saying it doesn't matter, and the other one's saying it does matter still. Like, it's going back and forth.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to take a while to figure all this out.
There'd be so much drama in a country club.
I mean, yeah. I don't know what the winner. What did the winner win for this tournament as the U.S. Open?
17.5, I think.
What?
17.5 million.
I think
was
was
with the whole purse.
That's the whole purse, right? Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what the winner gets for winning. What did he win? Is my question, but it doesn't show that on the USGA website. It's gonna make it difficult on me. So
yeah, hold on, I gotta.
ESPN might have it.
3.15 million for Maddie. 1.5 million for Scotty.
So he won
Will.
He won $3 million to win a major. And last week's tournament in London, the winner won 4, plus his team winnings, plus. So I'm like, okay, these exhibition events, as they call them, they're super nice because you're going to win a lot more money. You're going to fight out the U.S. Open with the biggest field in golf and all the best players, and you're going to win a lot less than if you just went over there. So if it's about the money, there's no, it's not a decision. You know, if it's all about the money and you don't care about the politics, there's no real reason for you to stay on the PGA Tour. In eight events, you can win a lot more than you can over there.
And if the PGA would quit making it about the money,
right,
then it would. The only reason it's about the money is to them
because they aren't giving as much money.
Because they aren't getting as much money. It's like, man, I see people posting about it all the time, comparing. It's like, oh, I'm out looking for another job, and your boss is like, why? Why would you do that? That's just no loyalty to the company. Right. And it's like, well, because you're not paying me well enough.
Right.
Why would I stay here? Why would I stay here and do my work? I will be that I can do there for $5 million less.
I will be absolutely loyal to the person that pays me more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but this is free agency in a nutshell. This is what all the sports go
is
through.
That what we've been missing?
Free agency.
Golf free agency?
Yeah, because they don't play for anybody. But now you have 2 different sides, 2 different tours, right? And they want to make it, the PGA wants to make it sound like it's the USFL versus the NFL, right?
Yeah.
And that's not what this is, really. This is about them wanting, I want to play in a different golf tournament next week. Why can't I? Why is that not okay with you? Well, we need you here because we won't make as much money. Oh, so it is about the money. Okay, I get it. But I don't get it because you let us go to other tournaments and play when they're part of the PGA program in the Asian Tour or the European Tour. If I wanted to go play over there, you'll let me go do that. You'll exempt me from the regular PGA event that's going on, but not for the LIV Tour because it's not part of you.
Because maybe that tour or maybe that event pays the PGA Tour a little something
to
let them come play.
They're part of the PGA system, the European Tour and the Asian Tour and whatever. And they're not opposed to playing tournaments in China. That's okay. Because China doesn't have human rights violations, but only Saudi Arabia is the thing. So it's weird.
Because America doesn't have human rights violations.
Right, because America doesn't, right. Whatever. I just like all of this. Brr.
I would love to see a Adam Schefter, or not Adam Schefter. Who's the guy who does all the NFL draft stuff?
NFL
Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper, yeah.
I would love to see a Mel Kiper draft analysis of like John Daly.
He's got. I like watching Mel Kiper because that hair, and those glasses. He's got glasses like from the '80s, and he's got this hair, and I just like, wow, he's a throwback. And he does. He comes right out and says what he feels. I like that.
Golf free agency. I'm on
golf
board.
Free agency, but you got to have teams of golfers, I think, in order to do that. But
you get drafted onto a team.
Onto a golf team, yeah. I think that's how it should be. Yeah.
People rolling their eyes because they get drafted onto Brooks Koepka's team. They got to deal with him.
They're on the Dallas Drivers team, or the
they're the worst names for those teams.
The Boston Birdies.
That is the one thing I will give to people clowning the Live Tour, is that those team names are garbage.
Well, it's just brand new.
I know it's different, but they just don't sound good. Like some of them just sound goofy.
Not everyone can be the Memphis Showboats. Just saying. I don't know. All right, let's move. We could talk about this for a while.
The High Flyers, the Majestics.
I mean,
but I did learn something. He did they mentioned the Niblix.
The Niblix, yeah.
The Niblix is one of the teams. I didn't know that it was a type of like golf club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not. I did not know that. So I was like, oh, I learned something.
A Niblick or a Mashie. Anyway, a spoon. So anyway, yeah, everybody look that up if you're thinking of it. Just look that stuff up.
You said a whole bunch of words. People were like, what?
What is he talking about? I thought we were talking about golf. So NHL. Let's talk about the first 2 games of the NHL finals. Colorado took a 2-0 lead in the best of 7 with a 7-0 rout of Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 2. Valerie Nichushkin scored twice. Darcy Kuemper, and it's Kuemper, by the way. Kuem.
It's not Kemper?
No, it's
Kuemper.
Sure? Yeah, I looked it up. I had to listen to a person tell me online how to pronounce it. Anyway, pitched a shutout. He saved all 16 of the Lightning shots on goal. Game 1 of the finals was last Wednesday, right? That was a good one. Andrei Burakovsky of the Avalanche buried a one-timer past the Lightning's Andrei Vasilevsky at 1:23 of overtime. Gave Colorado the 1-0 lead. Yeah, so that one ended 4-3. That was a good game. If you like watching playoff
It
hockey.
looked like it was gonna go
Oh, it was
3 or 4 overtimes.
Yeah, well, and at first it looked like it was going to be the Avs dominating. They scored 3 first-period goals and
Let them back in it.
then let them back in it and just couldn't. But anyway, you've been watching the series, right? You watch both games?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are the Avalanche that good? Or I mean, this is the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions in the Lightning, right?
Well, I have a firm, I hate Florida stance, so
Oh, right.
I don't want to give them much credit. But yes, the Avalanche look that good, especially offensively. Like in the first game, obviously they got down into it. They put up points early, and then I don't know what the deal was. They settled down, but once when overtime started, they came out with another gear and they won it pretty quick.
Gotcha.
In overtime. But in this game, they never did that. Like, okay, let's slow down a little bit. They just kept going. They kept going. That the puck stayed on in the offensive zone for forever. I mean, I think it was almost to the end of the third period. And it was 31 shots to like 12 shots, and it was like they're just absolutely controlling and getting it out there. So they looked that good. However, I think that type of scoring is unprecedented. Yeah. I mean, it's the most points that Vasilevsky's ever let up, and it's the second most goals the Avalanche have ever scored in a playoff game. So it's not that common of a thing. I would guess that the next game on the road is going to be a little tougher.
Yeah, it's going to be much harder at Tampa, but Tampa's got to get off to a better start. Tampa in game 1 had given up 3 goals, right? They gave up 2 goals in the first 9 minutes, and then in game 2 they gave up 3 goals in the first 14 minutes. And I mean, you got to start. You got to start better than that. You got to give yourself a chance where you feel like you're still in it.
Right, you can't be playing from a hole the whole game.
No, because you're going to lose a lot of those when you play from behind. Obviously, they've lost 2 of them. Yeah, but anyway, so that's part of it. And I think Colorado's just really good at holding on to the puck and wait until you make a mistake. So anyway, there's that. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to Game 3, which is when?
Tonight.
Tonight, Game 3.
Tonight at 5, I believe.
Good. That's about the only thing on TV if you're not watching College World Series or WNBA. So there's that. All right. So that's the first half of our show. Everybody who's watching, just in case anybody's watching. I don't know if anybody's. We're taping it, so you really aren't watching yet. But that's the first half of the show. I forget we're not live. We're gonna
so much easier. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do it live again one of these days. Just try it, see what we can do.
Yeah, if the time's right, it's easy to do. But
yeah,
I like taping is nice because if we screw up, we're not inconveniencing anyone.
That's true. That's true. If we don't come on right away and have technical difficulties for half an hour, I mean, I'm just saying that doesn't ever happen on our show.
Never happened.
Other shows, but not this show. So, second half of the show brought to you by Boss Kitty Hand-Dyed Yarns. Hand-Dyed Yarns. I gotta slow down. Be sure to tune into BossKittyLive.com for knit-alongs, games, fun, exclusive sales. Go to the BossKittyShop.com website and get your kitty glitter yarn. You're looking for a gift? Get them a Boss Kitty Shop virtual gift card and let them pick it out themselves. That's Boss Kitty Hand-Dyed Yarns. Yarn so boss, you'll knit your pants. Second half of the show, we're going to talk about a bunch of things. See, I'm bigger now. I'm not sure I like it.
Oh. Yeah, you are bigger.
I am bigger. And I want to move this, so just everybody bear with me. Is that better?
Looks fine.
Kind of in the middle, kind of not in the middle. I don't know.
All right, let's but that's okay.
So let's talk about Formula One for just a minute, right? 2 races to talk about since our last show. Max Verstappen won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in a comfortable manner, let's say, finishing over 20 seconds ahead of his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez. George Russell, Mr. Consistency, finished 3rd for Mercedes, and Russell's teammate and 8-time F1 champion Lewis Hamilton had his best finish of the season to that point, finishing 4th. Nope, that's not right. I think in the first race he finished 3rd.
In Baku?
In the very first race of the season, which was
Oh yeah, he was podium. He was podium
Yeah,
in
so I
the
think
first
that
race.
was
Yeah.
his second best. But anyway, the story of this race was the Ferrari cars failing, the power units failing. Um, Charles Leclerc's engine let out a puff of smoke, and he was forced to retire on lap 20 while he was leading the race. And Carlos Sainz lost hydraulic pressure on lap 9 and coasted through turn 4, which effectively knocked Ferrari out. And so today, or not today, yesterday in Montreal, the Canadian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen in control for most of the race. Although safety cars made it interesting at the end, a safety car late. Carlos Sainz couldn't quite catch Verstappen over the last 16 laps after a pit lane crash, by the way, by Yuki Tsunoda. Coming out of the pits and gave it gas, couldn't make the corner that came out of the pits, and he hit a wall in turn 2. It was interesting. But anyway, that brought out a yellow flag, and then Sainz had DRS, and he had fresher tires. He just couldn't catch Verstappen over those last few laps. It just never seemed he'd catch him a little bit during the DRS zones, and then in the corners he wouldn't even be able to keep up. Anyway, so he held him off a couple of times. Verstappen did, and then Lewis Hamilton was third, got a second podium for Mercedes. George Russell still finished in the top 5, coming in 4th every race. He's been in the top 5, Mr. Consistency, but if he doesn't win a race, he won't win the championship.
And if he doesn't win a race, he won't stay on a team.
Well, I don't know.
You're not going to keep the guy who just finishes 4th or 5th, maybe 3rd. Like you need to start being competitive for the title.
It's true. He hasn't really been like on the lead in a battle for the win.
Right. It hasn't happened
in any
yet.
of those
He's always 10, 15 seconds behind first and second place.
It's true. Yeah, that's interesting. But Charles Leclerc started 19th after he had penalties for changing out a power unit. But he worked his way up to 5th, which is pretty darn good. Fernando Alonso, who qualified second in the rain, because Saturday was rainy. Saturday was just a mess.
It was weird.
It was weird. And it was, yeah, much. It was inners and wets for all of that. And then, of course, yesterday was just a perfect racing day. The right temperature, track's dry, everything was good. So
it looked really nice. It looked like a really fun race to go to, and it was only like 68 degrees out there. Perfect.
Yeah, you have to. It's a whole different strategy. I mean, it's like driving 2 different races when you do the qualifying on wet tires, and then you come out and the next day and you got to drive on slicks. It's weird. I don't know how they do it, but that's why I'm not a Formula One racer. That's part of the reason. That and I never started racing. So there you go. Anyway, Alonso qualified second, but he could only manage to finish 9th in that one. So, what are your thoughts this far into the F1 season?
It's a runaway season.
Yeah,
it's a runaway season for Red Bull. I think that if it's not Max, then it's going to be Sergio Perez, and Red Bull's not letting that happen. Like, they're not going to let that be a competition. So yeah, it's going to be Max. I don't think there was a chance it was going to be Leclerc, but he just is not cutting it. Too many podiums, not enough wins.
Too many poles, yeah.
Yeah, too many poles. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he's been the pole setter 6
He's
times.
got bad decisions. Like, this team is making bad decisions. This team has cost him leads twice.
Yeah, and then they, of course, the engine just going poof. That doesn't help you any. And yeah, it's weird.
Red Bull knows that. They were worried that was gonna be a problem all year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting. It's still missing something for me. There's not as much drama as I would like. Just need somebody. I mean, I'd be okay if it was internal Red Bull drama. If it was just Perez and Verstappen battling each race, but they won't let them battle. So
nope, let them pass. Which, I mean, everyone's making like a deal out of that. Like, oh, they're not letting them fight. They're not letting them fight for it. And it's like, would you? It's a team sport, kinda. Would you just, like, you have one guy who you've designated and anointed as your leader on the team. Like, right. I'd do what I can to make him win too. Also, the less wins that Perez has, the more they can argue against offering him a bigger and bigger and bigger contract.
Yeah, they already re-signed him.
I know, but they, if he had 5 wins this season,
yeah,
that's a different conversation, because now you're the best driver on the team.
It's true, but that brings up the George Russell question. If you're not, right. if you let George Russell drive hard and win, are they doing that? I mean, right now Hamilton hasn't really been all that competitive. So, But they also said yesterday that Russell was letting Hamilton go through if he got up to him. Which,
Yeah.
okay, but Lewis Hamilton's not going to win this season. He's not going to.
But neither is George Russell.
He has a better chance. If something happens to one of the other teams and he happens to be there and comes in first, he has a better chance than Hamilton does. He's way ahead. I don't know what the standings are. Let me look because I can't tell you that, but I feel like he's got quite a few more points. Russell has 111 points and Hamilton has 77. So I guess, I mean, it's 34 points.
He's well up there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Russell's a win away from being third.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe even if he gets a win in a fastest lap and Sergio Perez does something, he could be second. I don't know. He's close. That's all I'm saying. He's right there. But yeah, you're right. It's all Verstappen at the moment, and that's all Red Bull cares about. So, I don't know. I just want more drama. I want it to be more exciting. I want F1 to help one of these guys get better so that it's closer.
You mean phone into Nicholas Latifi, say put it in the wall?
I mean, if anybody's going to do it, him and Tsunoda.
Him and
Stroll.
Tsunoda.
Lance Stroll.
And Schumacher.
Schumacher's
crashed a bunch of cars.
His car just failed yesterday.
But he still has crashed a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I mean, a week ago they were talking about should we be looking at replacing Schumacher?
He's been unfortunate because both the Haas cars qualified in the top 10. They were both in Q3 and then then just stuff happened and he
got flagged, right? He got orange and black flagged.
That was Magnussen.
That was Magnussen who got orange and black flagged
because his wing was damaged with I think it was Hamilton. Him and Lewis Hamilton tangled a little bit.
Yeah, they never actually showed when it happened. They kept showing like a big aerial view.
Yeah, it was just brief.
Yeah, I don't think it was much of a doohickey, but yeah, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's sucky. All right. So let's go. Let's talk about. I don't know what we're going to talk about next. I have all these grand plans. Let's talk about the Timbers real quick. Portland Timbers are struggling, to say the least. Let's just say that. They're 3-7-6 in 16 games, and they're 1-2-4 in their last 6 matches. The latest of which was a 1-1 tie with the LA Galaxy on Saturday. This is a quick MLS update because I'm not talking about it much. Portland is terrible. They're just not very good. So. Unless something happens and they turn around, we'll still talk about the scores and all that, but I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on a team that is clearly needs something. They're missing something, and that's scoring, number one. They can't score enough goals to win games. Anyway, but yeah, so they travel to Colorado, take on the Rapids this coming Saturday, in case you want to watch MLS, bad MLS soccer. You're more than welcome to do that. Let's talk about the USFL. We got to get that update right now. The Houston Gamblers handed the Birmingham Stallions their first loss of the season, 17-15, and this was a week ago, like not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before, the 12th. But it didn't matter because Birmingham clinched the USFL Southern Division anyway, and the New Orleans Breakers finished second. The Generals, the New Jersey Generals, clinched the North Division, and the Philadelphia Stars were second. So all the playoffs teams were set, which made Week 10 of 10-week season meaningless.
That'll happen.
Right. So in the final week, this last weekend, the Houston Gamblers also beat the New Orleans Breakers 23. So Houston beat back-to-back both the South leading teams in back-to-back weeks. So maybe they're just now hitting their stride. I don't know. But they beat New Orleans 23, and then New Jersey beat Philadelphia 26-23. But the playoffs start June the 25th. That is next Saturday. Philadelphia at New Jersey in a rematch. They just won, but New Jersey's won both meetings this year. That's on Fox at noon, and New Orleans plays at Birmingham, and Birmingham has won both those meetings on NBC at 5. The championship game is Sunday, July the 3rd. So all of the playoff games are being held at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. So they're actually playing not in Birmingham. Maybe Birmingham will lose.
No more home games.
No more home games. Sorry. You got to go on the road for the first. All of them, they actually have to pack up and go somewhere for the first time. That'll be interesting. But I like the idea that they're playing them at the Hall of Fame Stadium. And by the way, championship games for the championship, tickets for the championship game are $30.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But you have to be in Canton.
You got to be in Ohio. I mean, there is that.
Sucks. And Canton, other than the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is not that great.
But there are worse places to be. Florida. I'm looking at you.
Florida for sure.
We're looking at you, Florida. I don't know. USFL first season. If next year they come out and they actually play at home stadiums, I will watch this more. What I've been seeing lately has been a bunch of empty stadiums. The two stadiums they play in have been empty, and the coverage when they show you the broadcast, they aren't showing you that. They're trying to keep the camera close to the players on the field. So, watch them go into the end zone. They show the extra point. There's no one in the end zone.
Yeah.
There are no fans in it. The tickets are only $10. Is it just because it's in Birmingham? You got football overload now after 10 weeks, and no one's going to want to go watch those football games anymore because, I did watch the first one, but that was it.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So maybe when they go to home stadiums and there's actually a crowd and we actually get a home field advantage and all that, maybe it'll be different. I don't know, but until then, meh. So, and it needs a draw. It needs a big name. The USFL needs a marquee guy, maybe a retired or a guy that's, past his prime in the NFL. Maybe he can come back and play The Rock.
He needs The Rock.
I don't think he's played in a while. So, but maybe. I mean, maybe he could do it. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't go. Did I go here? I went here. So, moving on. The Las Vegas Aces are now 13-2 on the season. They're the hottest team in the WNBA. They're dominating. If you want to look at the standings, more than welcome to. But they have a 2-game lead over the Connecticut Sun, 3 over the Chicago Sky. There's a lot of S's in these things. And then there's the Seattle Storm is right behind them. So there's a lot of the Sun, the Sky, and the Storm are all back to back to back. The New York Liberty are now 6-10. They started the season 1-7. Since then they're 5-3, climbing up a little bit. They're occupying the last playoff spot currently, and that's Sabrina Ionescu's team. She had a triple double, and she was chosen the Eastern Conference's Player of the Week last week. In 3 games, she had averaged 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists while shooting 62% from the floor.
All layups.
Well, yeah, 53% from the 3-point line.
Okay.
So yeah, not all layups, but
I'll wear that.
Yeah, she's rising. She's good. I mean, after the injury last year and blah blah blah, she looks like she's getting better. So that's that. It's been pretty exciting. So, oh wait, I forgot to put up the picture. There you go. There's Sabrina driving down the floor, doing her thing. Again, also good seats still available at the WNBA events. There's a lot of sports where you can get good seats. I mean, if you like watching women's basketball, or you like watching, minor league football, or you like, I don't know.
Portland might get a WNBA team.
That would be interesting.
They're looking at their expansion. I think it would do well here.
How big does the WNBA want to be? Because right now you're looking at 12. I mean, I feel like expansion is what kills leagues sometimes. They overdo it. So it's what killed the USFL originally, was expansion. They expanded out.
That's some shoddy accounting practices.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about money here on this show. We don't judge. I mean, whatever you got to do. Let's talk about Major League Baseball for just a minute while we can. And hang on, I got to get to the whole. I'm like way behind on my website tabs. But anyway, let's talk about Major League Baseball for just a moment. So look at the standings. Should we look at the standings? We could look at the standings right now.
We could look at the standings.
There's the American League East. This is thanks to MLB.com. This is their official webpage in the standings right here. And if you look, the Yankees are the dominant team in baseball, 49-17. They have been dominant on both sides of the ball. They hit a lot of home runs. They have good pitching. Their run differential for the season is 143. It's the largest in baseball. They're outscoring you regularly. So they look dominant. They have an 11-game lead over Toronto, who right now would be battling for a division lead in any other division. And they're not even close. So you see Minnesota with a 1-game lead over Cleveland. That division's always interesting. Minnesota, Cleveland, the White Sox all in that hunt. The Houston Astros in the AL West have a 9.5-game lead, and that's mostly thanks to Justin Verlander. Verlander is off to a great start this year. He's hot. He's 8-3 with a 2.3 ERA. He's got 81 strikeouts and 82 1/3 innings. All of those numbers lead the team. He had Tommy John surgery in October of 2020. All right, he's 39 years old, so he hasn't thrown a pitch in 2 years before the start of this season. So he pitched one game in 2020 and had tightness. They put him on the DL. He stayed there all year, and then he had surgery at the end in October. A 39-year-old guy comes out and is just dominating now on the mound. Brings questions, but
Well, it's because they say the MLB's got some slick balls or some slick baseballs in circulation right now,
and you're using spider tack
and spider tack
and all the things that Vaseline.
yeah.
What's his name say? He's got Vaseline and Vagisil and what was the other thing on putting them all on the ball.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
Anyway, I think Ben Gay was the other thing. Anyway, he had Tommy John surgery. In case anybody doesn't know who Tommy John surgery is, it was named after Tommy John, the pitcher, former pitcher for the Yankees, among other things, among other teams. He pitched for a lot of teams. But it is ulnar collateral ligament reconstruction. And it is, literally where the elbow connection, it's a ligament in there that they replace, or they replace it with a tendon from somewhere else on your body. You know, like pull a tendon out of your butt, and then they attach. It's not out of your butt, but they pull it from somewhere and they attach it, and they fish it through so it acts as the ligament. I don't know. It's weird, but apparently it's fairly successful. Tommy John went on after his surgery. He went on to win 160 some games as a pitcher.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he got that surgery. He pitched till he was 46. So there's that. But some pitchers say that they're faster. They get faster when they get the surgery. They can throw the ball harder, and some of that is because they usually take out the ulnar nerve, right there at the elbow, so you don't feel a damn thing. So there's that. But anyway, so that's Houston. Justin Verlander. He's out there, front runner for Cy Young Award. But anyway, and there's your National League. The Mets have a 5.5 game lead over Atlanta. Atlanta went on a 14 game winning streak at one point, right?
Yeah.
And they're still 5.5 games behind the Mets. And then Milwaukee and St. Louis tied. This is a normal thing for the Central. You don't know which team's going to win, but there's always two teams battling for that. And then the Dodgers and the Padres have been in a battle all season long. One team's leading and another team's leading. It's been back and forth. Both those teams are very good, the Dodgers and the Padres. And don't forget the Giants, who always seem to be in there. They always seem to make their way into a wild card spot or something. So it's going to be good, but we're only, 68, 67, 66 games, somewhere in that ballpark. So we still got 100 games, 90-something games. There's a long ways to go. One of these teams will get super hot and, somebody will lose a whole bunch in a row. And baseball's an interesting game to watch. We'll keep an eye on it for you, though. That's what we do. Thoughts on Major League Baseball?
It's baseball. It's midseason.
Yeah.
Baseball is the one sport that I just have such a hard time keeping up with. One, because I'm not going to turn it on and pay attention to it for 3 hours.
Right.
And also, I'm not going to do that at 1 o'clock in the day.
Well, that's the other thing is day games make it really hard. Do they not? You can't just tune in and watch a day game. I mean, I don't have that kind of time. Most of us are working like real humans. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, I just thought I would get back to the baseball pictures in case anybody can see them, but I seem to have lost some audio here. What happened to my Skype connection? My Skype connection went away. So give me just a minute. We'll get Parker back up here. Nope, we might not get Parker back up here. It's not wanting to run. It has just shut down. A little technical difficulty. You'll see it. We'll get it back. Hold on to that thought, folks. Are you there, Parker? He's not there. There's the call. Hold on. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened to Skype, but it just quit. Decided it had been on too long or something. I don't know. Hey, you're back.
Hey, I'm back.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh,
and it said I missed a call from you, but it didn't come through.
I did. I just called. And now we're echoing heavily.
Oh. Yeah, I can't hear that on my end.
Yeah, interesting. I don't want to mess with the audio because things are bad like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay. Well, you're going to have a little echo in your talking. That's okay. Anyway, College World Series also. Let's talk about that real quick because that is going on in Omaha right now. And I might not ever get there if I don't get through all the pictures. I never did show. I forget to click them because I don't have it on a slide. I can't get a. I could do a slideshow and put it up there in the corner and let it run, but then it doesn't go along with what I'm talking about if I stop and talk about stuff.
You just have to press pause.
I know, but that's a lot of work. I'm busy talking.
Well, so is it more work than going and finding each picture?
No, but what I need is a producer. I need a guy.
Right.
Who just
need a budget for that.
I do, and I'm going to need some investors. College World Series started Friday in Omaha, Nebraska, with 2 games. Oklahoma beat number 5 Texas A&M 13-8, and Notre Dame beat number 9 Texas 7-3. Saturday, 2 more games. Arkansas blew out number 2 Stanford 17-2, and Ole Miss beat number 14 Auburn 5-1. All 4 ranked teams lost their opening games. An elimination game yesterday. Number 9 Texas was knocked out by number 5 Texas A&M 10-2, so Texas is out. In a winner's bracket game, Notre Dame lost to Oklahoma 6-2. Today's elimination game, which doesn't start here for a few more minutes, number 14 Auburn and number 2 Stanford is at 11 o'clock, and then Ole Miss takes on Arkansas in a winner's bracket game at 4. Both of those games are on ESPN today. So if you wanted to see some college baseball is actually kind of exciting. It's still fun to kind of hear the ding of the metal bat. It's interesting to watch when you watch baseball and you're used to watching.
They're all semi-professional players. They need to use wood bats.
I think they should. And by the way, did you see? And I haven't shared this with you, and you might not have seen this picture, so let me do this. Did you see? Did that work? Here it goes. Did you see Notre Dame's gold helmets?
Yes.
I love those. I got to be honest.
I think it's neat. Do it in all sports.
Right. I agree because then it's not very many sports they wear helmets in.
Lacrosse.
There's one.
Yeah, we could do
hockey.
Lacrosse. Hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they have a team there. Yeah, they have to have a hockey team. Football, baseball, softball. Yeah, there's a couple sports.
I suppose. But I like the gold. I mean, I think that looks really good just because it does. Shiny gold. It looks nice. Anyway.
If only they were smart and just not, not Under Armour teams. It'd be great.
We didn't do the trivia question that's what happens when you change the beginning of the show and you don't know what you're doing. And you had some technical difficulties, and I mean, I don't know. But anyway, so here's the trivia question. You ready? Because it's about College World Series, so let's talk about that for just a minute. The Best Lamb Sports Show trivia question brought to you by Stave and Stone Wine Estates in Hood River is, which college baseball team has been runner-up at the College World Series the most times without winning? So who's finished second the most? Which program's finished second the most without ever winning? And it's surprisingly a low number. I thought maybe it would be somebody who had been there a whole bunch and just never won. It's surprisingly low, the number of times they've been there. And then also a follow-up question. Well, it's not follow-up. It's a secondary. Which team has made it to the College World Series the most times without ever being knocked out? Every time they've made it to the College World Series, they've won the whole thing. There's one team that's done that.
I'll go with Arizona for that team.
Okay.
And then for the team that is gotten there the most but not won, let's go with Florida. No, they won it. They did win it. Dang it. Already screwed up.
It's okay.
I can't think of another one.
All right. So the answer is the team that's been the runner-up the most times without winning is Florida State.
Ooh, interesting.
3 times, 70, 86, and 99.
That was close.
They've been second in those. They've been to the College World Series more times, but they've been runner-up 3 times without winning. They've never won. That's the most runner-ups without winning. And now, when I say that, I was looking up stats earlier. Texas has been a runner-up 6 times, but they've also won 3 or 4. I think it's 5. Maybe it's 5. So they've been there a whole bunch. So there's a lot of teams like Arizona. Arizona's been a runner-up 5 times. They've also won 3.
So that wasn't Arizona for the other one.
Right. So the Minnesota is your answer for the other answer. Oops, I got to do this. Minnesota, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 3 times they were in the College World Series and won. Right? 56, 60, and 64.
Right.
Right. They've never lost a College World Series once they've gotten into it. So there you go. But anyway, there's your Florida State Seminoles too, by the way, in case anybody wants a picture of Florida State. I was kind of like, is it odd that those 2 teams have the same kind of colors?
Yes.
It's a coinkydink, probably. All right, that's kind of all we have for the day, unless you got something you want to talk about.
I do not. I do
Ah,
not.
Okay, you're not prepared. I see.
Not for that. Nope.
No worries. It's okay. So that's all we're going to really talk about for today. That's all I have. We're going to be back next week. I don't think so. When's the next Formula One race? We didn't talk about that.
It's in 2 weeks. July 1st through 3rd is the weekend.
Where they at?
British Grand Prix.
It's Silverstone.
Silverstone.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to Silverstone. So that'll be fun to watch. And then I think they'll be in Austria shortly after, if I remember right. This is where they take their European tour this time of year. Anyway.
Yeah. Little trip through Europe. No big deal.
Yeah. So we talk about Formula One in a couple weeks. We'll talk about it next week. We'll preview the Silverstone thing. We don't got any NBA to talk about anymore unless we talk about unless something happens. We'll keep you updated on any news or information if somebody gets traded or cut or whatever. The NHL, we'll still have to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals probably. Although after tonight, if Colorado goes up 3-0, we may not have much to talk about. That may be over.
Could get boring.
It really could. MLS soccer we can talk about if we talk about someone other than Timbers because that's boring. We might have to expand a little bit, find another team to root for. I mean, Korean baseball, we're looking at you. USFL, we'll talk about that because the playoffs start next weekend, right? So we'll have 2 playoff games in USFL. We'll talk about the WNBA. We'll find something to talk about. And it's about that time of the year where we start talking about in depth about some things. So we're gonna start coming up with some topics, big time debate topics. That's our summertime.
Off-season stuff, yep.
Off-season stuff, yeah. So anyway, like I said, that's all we have for today. Again, we're on YouTube every week. You know what? Hold on. Let's do this one.
Nice.
Because I like that one. So we're on YouTube every week. We're on Twitter at Lamb Sports. We're on Facebook under the Best Lamb Sports Show. You can email us, lambsports@gmail.com. And don't forget to go to our website, lambsports.com. Did I say that just now?
Yeah.
Oh. No, I said it was on you could email us, lambsports@gmail. I didn't say
Oh, right.
Right. I got too many Lamb Sports. It comes on like too many times. I have to say it like a whole bunch. I want to thank ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC, CBS Sports, the NFL, NCAA, NHL, NBA, MLS, F1, and of course our sponsors, The Range in Yakima, Boss Kitty Yarns, and Stevenson Wine Estates in Hood River. This has been a Brain Rock production, a division of Lonely Tree Media, LLC. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Little problem there.